Hey guys, thanks for stopping in. One of my favorite songs growing up was Take It Easy by the Eagles. So yeah, just like 300 other people every day, we wanted to stop in at the Standing on the Corner Park in Winslow. Some claim this guy holding the guitar is Jackson Browne, but in actuality, his name is Easy, and he's supposed to represent the spirit of all songwriters. The other guy holding up this light pole, that's Glenn Frey, and Jill holding up the flatbed. If you look closely, there's a reflection of the girl in the Ford in the window, and on the window ledge above, there's an eagle. I guess you can figure that one out. While I wouldn't make this a destination, it is a detour worthy if you're close. We just got off at the Two Guns exit, 233 again, but this time we headed south. You may not even notice these ruins from the interstate, and actually they were built to look like ruins in the 1920s to capitalize on the Route 66 and the tourist. A little later, a guy named Henry, aka Engine, Chief Crazy Thunder, Miller, whose DNA is said to be suspect, leased some of the land and built the zoo, stocking it with big cats, snakes, and Gila monsters. Engine even put some electric lights in an old cave to give tours, and is said to have sold Indian skulls and other remains to tourists. Well, with Two Guns' bloody history, I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Old Engine, he got into an argument with the owner, and Engine, he just up and shot the old man, shot him dead. Somehow, Engine was acquitted though, ended up taking some valuables and disappearing. About that cave, though, in 1878 it seems some Navajo kidnapped some Apache girls, and the Apache tracked them down to a cave here. It's unclear if any of the women escaped, I don't know, but supposedly the Navajo built a fire at the cave entrance, which pulled all of the oxygen out, suffocating the rest of those that were still inside. Still another legend has Billy the Kid hiding in the ruins of a stone house near here. But the most famous legend is the Hash Knife Ranch Hands. They robbed a train at Canyon Diablo, made off with over $100,000. Sheriff Bucky O'Neill and his well-armed posse chased these old scoundrels down, but found less than $100 of the loot. One of the thieves, though, after leaving prison, told the others about the loot. Mostly silver and gold coins along with the rifles. It said they were buried near the canyon rim near Two Guns. People still come here looking for that treasure.
One of my jobs as navigator extraordinaire is to find the campgrounds when we are ready to stop traveling for the day. When we got close to Camp Verde, I found this one, Verde Ranch RV Resort. The online photos looked really nice and the reviews were good. So we called ahead and reserved a spot for the night. The sign says, a CRR lifestyle destination. This had no real meaning to us, but as we entered the property and explored a little, we discovered that this really meant modern and upscale and providing all of those extra amenities you don't normally find at a campsite. I later read that CRR is a new company that strives to create an experience of well-being, a place of rest and relaxation, whether you are on vacation or you purchase one of their sites for day-to-day living. Their tagline is, where the outdoors meets luxury, and if you enjoy roughing it smoothly like we do, this is the place. This is my kind of camping. The clubhouse was beautiful, well lit, clean, and decorated for Christmas with rich textures of wood and stone and a really warm fireplace. And there were plenty of activities like ping pong, cornhole, and shuffleboard to name a few. The pool was heated and there was a hot tub, which would have been really nice to try if I'd remember to pack a swimsuit. That will definitely go on my checklist for next time. Verde Ranch is very beautiful and well kept, and we really enjoyed riding our e-bikes around the property after a long day of driving. But I would say that overall, the This is not the vibe that Earl and I typically look for. We prefer a little more rustic experience. The privacy of trees and woods, a night sky unobstructed with so much light. By far, though, it was the fanciest RV resort we stayed at during this whole trip. And in fact, we did end up extending our stay for 2 extra nights, as this was a great central base to stay at as we explored Sedona and Fort Verde over the next couple of days. I also had to work remotely for one of these days, and the Wi-Fi signal was strong, which you can't always count on when you go off too far from the main stretch of town.
Camp Verde gets a thumbs up from me too. It's a convenient base to the areas of Sedona and Cottonwood. There's an RV wash at the exit, and the propane at the Shell store is easy. Sedona, also called Red Rock Country, because of the iron oxides that give these features their rich red color. And it really is beautiful too, especially when accentuated by either the early morning or the setting sun. We stopped at the Red Rock Ranger District Visitor Center. It's off of Highway 179. Offers a great view of Castle Rock, Bell Rock, Courthouse Butte, and Lee Mountain. Not only that, but we ran into a volunteer ranger, one of the nicer ones, Bob, who before retiring was a chemical engineer. Really, he was one of the better rangers we ran into on this trip. More about this later though. Anyway, Dave, he gave us a map of where we could get back country and see some sights in 4x4. Normally people pay some outfit like the Pink Panther Jeep Company or whatever, inflated prices, to just drive them around on these unimproved roads. But thanks to Bob, we had a great time. Thanks again, Bob. Basically, take Dry Creek Road out of town. It can get crowded, so be careful. But after a while, the crowds will thin, and then the pavement will end. This road can be very rough, though, be warned, and dusty. But some of the views are worth it. Also, if you like to boondock in your RV, we saw several here. Although the rough roads don't bother me, Jill gets a little car sick sometimes. So we finished up our little trail ride and went back to town, got us a truck wash, and then went to find the Zane RV park and check it out. What we found, we liked, and I mean really liked. Camp Verde is nice, but this is what I like: mature trees, space, air about it. We stopped and talked to a guy in a newer Phaeton and asked his opinion. He gave it excellent reviews. Although we did not reserve a spot here at this time, this will be on the priority list if ever we return this way. On the way to Zane, we had passed a small local winery, and we thought, well, it looks interesting. So, hey, let's check this out on the way back. Welcome to Rio Claro, or Clear Creek Vineyard and Winery, basically an organic winery. When greeted, we asked if we could be seated in the sun next to the fence at these tables. But those tables are reserved for bottle customers. Okay. Instead, Instead, we were offered a seat more convenient to the restrooms. It's nice to be appreciated, isn't it? In vino veritas. In wine, there is truth. Anyway, wine, like fine bourbon, is a personal taste in my opinion. You may not like what I find smooth and satisfying. At any rate, we each took a flight of 5 varietals. Jill liked the Chardonnay and the Cabernet Franc Reserve. Maybe that's reserve. I don't know. I'm not a wine snob. But only 2 countries, Spain with their Reserva and Italy with their Riserva, have actual rules for reserve wines. Not sure what it really means here in the United States anymore, except that it costs more. To me, they were all sufficient. Jill bought a bottle of the Viognier to bring home, and we just opened it the other day. It was cloudy, not necessarily a bad thing, especially considering organic practices and filtering, but for $30 it was nothing special. We actually spent over $60 at Rio Claro. Maybe next time, when things are slower perhaps, we'll get a more preferential seating, perhaps. Okay, that's enough for now. Back to Camp Verde. Next episode, we'll check out Fort Verde and Montezuma's castle and a little more. Until then, be a good human and take care.